Hello and welcome to another episode of Behind the Business. I'm Sofia and today I'm walking you through a behind the scenes look at one of the most important systems in my business. And that is the exact pre-sales call process that we use that gets over 90% of our leads showing up and ready to buy. No ghosting, no awkward reminders, no convincing needed. Just warm, qualified, excited buyers who are already imagining what is possible before we even say hello on Zoom. And the best part, this is something that you can implement in your business today. So let's dive in. I created this process originally because I got really tired of chasing leads, sending awkward follow-ups, and just wasting so much time on sales calls. I don't know if anyone else has experienced this, but I feel like I used to go on a sales call. I would have to build rapport with them. I would have to share my story. I felt like I had to almost prove myself. And then when it got to actually talking about the offer, I then got exhausted from explaining all of the details of my offer. And then they would get overwhelmed because it was so much information that they wanted to go away and think about it. Probably everyone's most hated objection, right? And I just got sick of it and I thought, sure, there's a part of this that's my sales skills that can be improved, but there has to be a simpler and easier way. And I just felt like such a broken record, and it got to the point where I was actually putting off having sales calls, and you know that that's a problem because that then becomes a bottleneck. Like I was self-sabotaging growing further because of the pain that I had around taking sales calls. Of course, there is an option to just not do them, but I think that that also can really heavily impact the amount of sales and money that you get for most people. And so I thought, well, okay, if I'm not going to not do them, I need to learn how to love them and how to get this to work a lot better. And when I took a step back and I looked at the big picture, I realized that the sales call doesn't actually start when the Zoom link opens. It actually starts the moment someone books the call to begin with. That window between the moment they schedule the call and the moment that I speak with them is one of the most underused opportunities in most people's coaching businesses. So instead of letting that time go to waste, I decided to utilize that time and I created a pre-call sales experience that builds trust, warms my ideal clients up, and pre-sells my offer before we even speak. And I just found that this not only increased our conversion rate, like our close rate sits anywhere between 50 and 70% over the last few years, but I've also been able to generate millions and millions of dollars from doing this. So it's definitely supported us deeply. So here's a look at what this looks like step by step. So step one is the confirmation page that actually pre-sells for you. This is probably one of the bigger pieces. So the moment someone books a sales call with me, they are automatically redirected to a custom confirmation page. It's just a page on my website, and this page does a lot of the heavy lifting. And for most call booking schedulers, it gives you an option of what you want to happen once the call is booked. Do you just want it to go to a little thank you thing saying, yep, your call is confirmed, or do you want it to redirect to a custom link? So I changed it to redirect to a custom link so I can give my potential clients a more custom experience and personalized experience and do the things that I'm about to explain with you. So basically we've made it so it redirects to a page on my website, but you don't need to have a website. You can just use a landing page or any link of your choosing. And this is what's on it. First, there's like a short 1-minute video. I've tried to make this as short as possible so that people actually consume it. There's even captions on the video. So a lot of things I've done have been really, really intentional. And that's why I'm taking the time to explain all of this. So it's a short welcome video, or not even a welcome video, but just like a, hey, congrats, your call is booked and I'm excited to speak with you. And this is really important so they instantly feel seen, supported, and guided on what this process is actually going to do for them. And this is going to really help them to actually show up and just know that it's a very serious and professional thing. Maybe serious isn't the right word, but just, for example, if Beyonce said she wanted to catch up with you, I think you would take that very seriously and you would show up to that catch up no matter what, and you'd be there on time, right? Whereas if some random stranger, wants to do a meeting, it's a lot easier to cancel if something, better comes up. But I really want my ideal clients to know that this call's actually to help them. Yeah, sure. We might talk about, working together if that's the right fit and that's the right next step to help them get the result, of course. And that's there for them, not for me. But it's really going to help them to get clarity on where they're at, why they are where they are, like what's actually holding them back. Most people don't even know this, and a plan to move forwards. And so it's really important that I frame it that way so that people take it seriously, for lack of a better word. Then there is, just little 3 dot points on basically what their next steps are. So it's like to watch that video, it's to fill out an assessment and add the call to your calendar, basically. And so that leads me on to the next video below that, which is an assessment video. And it's basically me for like 10 minutes walking through my signature method, the scalable system. So this is what makes me unique from all of the other business coaches out there. No one else teaches the scalable system because it's something that I created. And if I can get my audience to believe in the scalable system, then they're going to buy from me over everyone else. And so it's really important that I explain and introduce them to the scalable system if they don't already know what it is, and I walk them through it. And I've tried to do it in as a short amount of time whilst also giving depth and value, right? And I used to have this just as like a Canva slide video where I was just like walking through my method, but then I realized again that it's important to have that rapport and connection. And if someone's a little bit newer to my world, they might not have experienced much of my video content. And so I actually changed it to a video of me with captions and then overlays. So like I put, an image up of my method and stuff so that the visual people can still get their needs met. And that way they walk away from that 10-minute video understanding like, how I help my clients. And there's like a call to action to fill out a pre-call assessment that's linked below that video. Now, this used to be a Google Doc, and I had a whole bunch of people have issues like I can't make a copy of it, and just non-tech savvy people like couldn't figure it out. So I actually changed it to a Google form where they just have to like click the boxes. And the cool thing is that now then just automatically sends those answers to us so we get them. So basically they have to fill out that assessment. It only takes like a minute to literally fill out the assessment because it's using a traffic light system of red, yellow, and green for each area of the scalable system. So the scalable system has 3 core pillars. It's got sustainable strategy, simple systems, and seamless sales. And each of these 3 pillars have 3 components within them. And when someone joins my program, this is actually what they're getting access to. They're getting access to the full scalable system and all of the components within them, because when you master that, it allows you to build a spacious and scalable business model. That is the whole point of it. And this assessment is helping my audience to see where they sit on that scale. Like how far away are they from having a spacious and scalable business, basically. They can see where they're going wrong. And so not only does this video really highlight that and educate them and add value, but it also helps them, it gets them clear. And a lot of the time people are red on a lot of the areas, which is also why they need my help, and they really start to see that as well. So that's what that is. They fill out that form, we then get the answers, which is really awesome because I can leverage that on the call itself, which has supported conversions. This already builds so much belief and really positions me as the expert before we've even spoken on the call. Remember that. This is all before the call's even taken place. And if they don't complete the assessment right away, which most do, it's not a problem because we then have an email sequence that I'll explain now that takes care of that. So that's part 1, is that confirmation page. Part 2 here is that we then have an automated email sequence that does the work for me, right? So after the call is booked, we just send out 3 emails. And this is what each email does. So the first email is like a confirmation/reminder email, which basically just, gives them that gentle reminder to complete the pre-call assessment if they haven't already. It's really short and straight to the point and direct, and positions it as something that helps them get the most value from the call. And it's just like leading them to that guidance. And it's also really important to note that we really use this process as well, like quite seriously, from the lens of we say that if you don't fill it out, the call is cancelled. It says that on the confirmation page, because I just know that the most committed people will take time to do this if they're really serious about their business. If they can't fill out a 1-minute assessment that's designed to help them get clarity, I don't really want to work with them. But everyone fills it out. It's not even a problem we have, because pre-call process that we have set up. So that's the first email. The second email is like a connection builder email. So it's me sharing my story. So the subject line is like from cleaning floors to 7 figures. And this one just shares like a short and personal story about how I went from, $0 at age 22 to building a 7-figure coaching business, or a business that has generated over 7 figures. And it's a YouTube video. So I basically am really straight to the point. It's a really short email so people actually read it, and it basically just links them to watching that video. And the reason why I include this is because then again, it buys that like, no, trust factor, which is essential, but it also helps my audience to see that I can really help them, because I did not start under perfect circumstances, I was 22 years old when I started, so I was really young. I had never been in business before, no previous business experience, no qualifications. COVID had just hit. I had no idea what I was doing. I was a mindset coach. And in under 4 years, all organically, I scaled to $1 million in cash in lifetime revenue. Now we've done over 2 million, but that's what I had done. And so I've got a really powerful story, and it really helps my audience to see wow, if she can start her business with 0 prior experience at 22, I think me at 45 or me at 30 or me at whatever can too. And if she can start during a pandemic, no qualifications, no certifications, and I've got certifications and I've been in business for longer, maybe with her process, I can too. That's kind of the point and why I share it. And also, storytelling is so powerful. Think about why we buy so many books. Think about the people we're most inspired by. It's because of their story, right? And so I know it's so important that I share that story, and it just really builds that connection, trust, and relatability. I'll have people reach out to me saying there's specific parts of my journey that they really relate to, whether it's me crying on the floor, whether it's me struggling, whether it's me, my family situation, whether it's where I lived or what I did or my previous work, whatever it is. There's these specific parts that people relate to, and that's really, really important. So that's what that does. Then the third email is the proof. So the subject line is something like the number one reason you're not progressing. And this one links to just real client results. I've got literally thousands of client testimonials, case studies, and screenshots all on one results page on my website of clients that have used the scalable system and have worked with me. And so I basically it's a short email where I link them to that so that there's proof that this is not this only works for a certain amount of people. No, it works for everyone that goes all in to master it. You have to master it, you have to commit to it, of course, but it works. And this whole email sequence just works automatically every time someone books. So I don't have to, all this stuff I've just explained to you, I've set up once and I don't have to do it again, right? And it does so much of the work. Then there's some bonus content that builds that binge-worthy trust that's also on that confirmation page. So, if you know me, you know that I love long-form content because binges are buyers. And so I want to give people the opportunity to consume that long-form content. So after the assessment on the confirmation page, I also have a bonus training that introduces, how I took a client from, $2K a month to $50K a month. And I just share the strategy and the story. So they actually get a lot of value there. And it's not designed on this is a client testimonial. It's really just a training of this is what she did. And then they get to see what's possible. But then I do have client case studies, real videos of clients who have made over 300K, 100K, 6 figures, multiple award-winning coaches. It's all on that page. Not too many, just maybe, I think there's 4 case studies to give them an idea of the kind of results that are possible for them as well. So there's that. And then at the very bottom, I have my podcast linked behind the business. And it just allows them to listen to that either on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple. And then they can binge consume my content before the call if they're really eager. I know that that's something that I would do if I was considering working with someone, but everyone's different, but I love to give the option. And all of this collectively just helps my leads get to know me, my method, and my clients before they've even shown up to the call. And this obviously sounds more lengthy than it is because I'm explaining it and breaking down the psychology at the same time. But honestly, it's literally 1 page and 3 emails, and everything else is just, that's it. And this just really works because it primes belief. It removes friction and it eliminates no-shows. And it gets people saying I'm in before I even need to make an offer. Like my favorite thing now is when I get on calls and people say, I already know I want to work with you. And like they just wanted to chat or ask a few questions or whatever, but they were already certain, or they even bring up the program. I don't even need to do that, right? And it's because of all of this work. So when the call starts, where they're not starting from scratch, yeah, you need to still go through the sales call process in most scenarios, but it's so much easier when they already like, know, and trust you. So now we're starting with momentum, and that's the power of this process. And this system is so simple. Like I said, it's one page that your booking link automatically redirects to. You don't even have to manually send it. And then the emails is just like using your email marketing sequence, and it just sends those 3 automatically. It's a set it and forget it system. You just need to be intentional about what your leads experience in those 24 to 72 hours before the call. So if you've ever felt frustrated with no-shows, ghosting, or sales calls that just don't land, then this episode is your permission to stop chasing leads and actually start building a system that does the hard yards for you. And if you want this plug and play version, you want to actually see it, and you want to get the email the email templates and the screenshots of this process, just message me the word pre-sold on Instagram and I'll just send it straight to you. I've got an entire PDF that walks through this. It includes the 3 emails, the confirmation page walkthrough, and the psychology behind the whole thing so that you can implement it straight into your business. So my Instagram is at Sofia Rose Bernardi. DM me the word pre-sold and I will send it right over to you. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Behind the Business. If this helped you, I'd love it if you sent this to a fellow coach friend of yours who might be struggling with sales or ghosting, and just like converting in general, because I know that this will help them so much. This one system has changed everything for me, everything for my clients, and I know it will for you too. I'll see you in the next episode.